Hello everyone, Jason Elliott back here again, and today we're going to be talking about a show that I just finished watching not too long ago, Chainsaw Man Season 1. I wanted to catch up with this show in order to watch the new movie that just came out. Heard a lot of great things about it, so I figured I'd catch up on this show for the first time, see what it's like, and see whether or not I want to see the new movie or not. And honestly guys, a lot of people were saying, watch this show, it's fantastic. I just never got around to it. But after finally watching all of Season 1, I get the hype. Chainsaw Man Season 1 follows Denji, an impoverished young man who, after being betrayed and killed, merges with his devil dog companion Pochita to become the titular hero. And that's all I'll be saying without giving any major spoilers in this season if you haven't caught up with it. I went to this blind, so if any of you guys are new and want to watch the show, I'd say give it a shot, then come back to this review and hear my thoughts. Overall, what I loved so much about this show was just how unapologetically bonkers it gets. From its first episode, it introduces you immediately to a world that's already full of demons and devils and all sorts of monstrous creatures and people that are just abhorrently terrible, and you immediately sympathize with our main character Denji after seeing him go through so much in terms of being alone, having to work for a living just to pay off a debt. And that first episode to me just encapsulates this character's journey perfectly and got me to really feel for his emotions, what he wants to do in his life, and how far he's willing to go in order to achieve his goals, while also being protective of those close to him, which in this case is this chainsaw dog that we see him take care of. And despite them only really getting one episode to bond, you immediately feel that connection between these two, and it's so heartbreaking when what happens between them happens, but it does eventually lead our character to go on this journey of a bit of self-discovery, making hopefully new friends, hopefully making a new life for himself, all while trying to keep hold to what is close dear to him and his human emotions and human wants, while now having to balance out the fact that he is a devil. And I really love how this conflict was built throughout the rest of the season as he starts getting introduced to new characters, new people who are going to train him and teach him the ropes, and some teammates that he will either be annoyed by or be a bit more lenient towards, and how that human side and his devil side will basically collide a bit with each other's mindset. How he's going to be able to carry himself all throughout life at this point, because throughout the course of this show, Denji, while still retaining many of his human emotions and wants, starts getting more daring and daring as the show goes on. At many points, when he starts to go into his Chainsaw Man mode, he loses almost all sense of consciousness, like he has become a completely different person. And I loved that aspect of the character, and how he's just so willing to really get that revenge, but how he learns to keep hold to his mind, keep his conscience clear, trying to get stronger, and learning and adapting throughout all these action sequences. It is really fun to watch this character grow throughout the course of the season and start to try to actually make friends and have colleagues that will kind of have his back for the most part. It's not even for the most part, sometimes. As for many of the other side characters, they are also a lot of fun. Power, who is this demon girl that our characters have to find a way to keep a leash on, is a really engaging character. She's kind of like, as I would describe, the Harley Quinn of this entire group, who is a loose cannon, but still has a bit of a conscience and a clear heart. She is holding on to something very dear to her while trying to manipulate everyone around her to just either fuck off or be able to do what she wants without any real leashes on her. But when it comes to the relationship with her and Denji, how this started from where the relationship ended that season 1, I really enjoyed. There are two devils that are in conflict with one another and don't really get along much at all throughout the season, but they learn to tolerate one another and appreciate one another's strengths as we start learning more about Power's character and what she's been through. And so you, as an audience, are able to sympathize with her state of mind right now. But she also works as a great companion to Denji, who's someone that has been a devil a lot longer than he has, seen some shit, is been through so much that she almost has lost all of her mind. And in many ways you do really feel bad for her and what she's been through. As well as Aiki, who is sort of their leader and the one trying to keep these two characters in line and focus on the mission, and his relationship with some of his colleagues and how he is wanting revenge for something that happened in his past. I really like how his character is explored here, how we see him as one thing, and while that character trait continues all throughout the show, we start understanding more of his emotions and we feel for him very deeply as we learn more of why he became the person he is today. And Makima, who is basically the Amanda Waller of this entire group, is really intriguing. She's more of a mysterious figure in this season. From what I saw, she doesn't really do so much apart from controlling behind the scenes and what goes on around her, telling her colleagues what to do. But her relationship with Denji and how much Denji really wants to get with her is really entertaining, but also gives a bit of humanity to Denji, as what he wants from her is basically what any teenage boy who's probably going through puberty would want with any girl at that point. So she tolerates that, but that doesn't mean she has no character. What is explored with her, especially in the later few episodes, made me very interested into what her powers are, what her character is like, how she carries herself in terms of making deals with people or an interrogation. I love the way the show builds this character up and gets me really excited to see where the show will take her from then on out. As for the action of the show, it is bloody, violent, and brutal. This is the kind of anime action that gets you pumped. And there are so many swooping camera angles where the camera just moves around the action, especially when they are in the air. There's so many dynamic shots that get you so immersed into what's happening. I love how the show was also not afraid to hold back on the violence. Every death or every bit of action here has something brutal going on. And the grisliness of it all just not only made it a lot of fun, but kept it very tensed up, because these character designs and these devil designs are intimidating, and so you are always in a sense of caution throughout the show. You are always wondering what is going to lurk behind the corner, who's going to kill who, what's going to happen, what monstrosity is this character going to turn into. You are always alert on screen whenever even a minuscule character or a side character or a background character pops out and becomes the focus. And the way the show was able to grab your attention just like that, just because of how well this world is built out and explored, was really fascinating to watch, and it got me really invested into this world, in the way it works, how the characters act towards these devil hunters. Just all around, the world building here was really well done. If I do have any problems with this show, is that the later few episodes did feel a bit rushed. There's a few plot points that are brought in those later few episodes that I felt like could have been explored a bit more, or that I would have had wished it gone an extra episode longer, just to be able to explore more of these character moments, like training the characters or be immersed into an action sequence that is very important. It felt like those final few episodes just rushed some things out. I was still engaged, I was still enjoying what I watched, but I couldn't help but feel like the show was rushing to get to its final few plot lines and end this season on a high note. But if it was given an extra episode more, it could have been a lot higher for me, at least in my opinion. All in all, Chainsaw Man was a very fun anime. It was darkly funny, it was action packed, the characters were interesting, the world building is engaging, and if you haven't seen this show, I highly recommend you guys go check it out. And I'm going to give Chainsaw Man Season 1 an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.